Hey, what is going on? Chaz here from Elevate Coaching. It has been a hot minute since I've posted a video. Especially, it's been over a year since I posted a video about racing. I know, super crazy. I am super excited though. This one is Chowchilla Criterium. 90 minutes of racing today is what we have on tap. And all of the big teams came out to play today, which is super fun. Mike Spikes is here. Team Legion is here. Valet is here. We have, I think, Team Cliff Bar brought a few guys. And then there's some one-off hitters. Pro Team Wildlife Generations here. And Trinity is also here, along with our squad Ride Bikes. We are all here. It's myself, our sprinter Nick, Kenny, and Eric, which are new additions to the team this year. And we also have Ivor and Alex, who are also new additions to the team. Now, I had done a race earlier this season with Tyler and Nick on my team. We went to Florida, and I'm gonna be honest, Florida was hard and it was fast. Those guys definitely took advantage of that Florida winter weather and got super in shape. The crit there, I'm gonna be honest, the crit in Florida, I believe, was far harder than the crit here, even though we had so much talent in this race. We were racing against Travis McCabe and those guys back in Florida. Anyways, let's talk about Chowchilla. Super cool. 8 minutes into this 90-minute crit, I did a little attack to kind of get the legs opened up. I ended up having a Mike Spikes, Valer, and Legion rider bridging to me, and we set up a pretty solid breakaway where I think our biggest gap got up to about 50-55 seconds. The whole straightaway, we were completely out of sight and out of mind of the peloton, but we only lasted about an hour. Part of the reason why I think it kind of struggled for us was we worked really well together. The only issue was the Legion rider that was with us decided to just kind of sit on and do a free ride. He decided not to help us out at all, and we were all kind of frustrated with that and trying to figure out why he wanted to do that. But hey, it's part of riding the break, so you know, we did the best we could. And it just wasn't meant to be. Honestly, it was a little bit early for a move like this. I was a little bit bummed that we got that much of a gap. I kind of wish we would have got pulled back a little bit quicker. But other than that, it was fun while it lasted. Super excited with where the legs were. But here we go. Let's fast forward. Break gets caught. We are now back in. We got 30 minutes of racing left. We started with around 70 guys, and I believe we have about 38 guys left in the field at this point. So we got about a half hour of racing left, and myself, Nick, and Kenny are, and Eric are still in the field right up there on the top right. Along the other side of Trinity Rider is Nick, our sprinter. Now, basically, the goal now that once we got caught, I'm just gonna keep following moves. So Trinity right here, Luke Lamperti goes with Legion up here on the front, which I believe is Tyler Williams. You can just kind of look at his calves and be like, yep, that's Tyler Williams. Like, okay. And fun fact about me, I have 0 calves, so when I see people with calves, I admire it. I think it's pretty legit. Anyways, this is a good little attack, good little move. I do believe we got next to 0 daylight, but hey, these guys want to play bikes. I want to play bikes, so I'm going to keep the pace high and just keep kind of pushing through this and see what happens. But again, this was kind of what it was, and here was our kind of plan as a Ride Bikes team. Basically, we were like, we gotta get to a break. So our goal was to try to get in a breakaway, and we kind of figured that Mike Spikes, the next biggest team in the field besides Legion, would also want to bring it to a breakaway, just because Legion is so good at their lead out train. I mean, if you remember watching the Tour de France a couple years ago, not a couple years ago, probably like 2012, when HTC High Road was there and their lead out train was just completely unstoppable with Mark Cavendish. Yeah, that's how Legion is. Legion is a well-oiled machine when it comes to lead out trains. Not only that, I mean, their lead out train is pretty stacked with like sprinters. I mean, yeah, Corey and Justin are the main sprinters on the team. but a lot of the other guys, a part of that train, are sprinters too, so they all have this really good kick and snap to where they can just keep it just flying. And you know, and it's hard to try to want to rival that too, especially when Mike Spikes is bringing like 9 guys. Now they're going to be fighting for the end of that Legion train, and it's like, do we want to fight against 9 or Mike Spikes riders? Not really. So we want to try to get in a break. And I'm pretty sure Mike Spikes was on the same page with that, trying to get in a break, because Legion is good at what they do when it comes to leadouts. So here we are in the last quarter of this race. And again, I'm just going to be trying to follow wheels now at this point. They go off the front. Here's Justin Williams in the red, white, and blue. Corey's in here somewhere. I haven't seen Corey yet. He will make an appearance eventually. There he is. Speaking of Corey right there on the right. And yeah, so we got some strong riders in this field. It was honestly a lot of fun. I absolutely love this race. And this is kind of what happened every time we hit the straightaway right here. It just kind of ballooned up like this just because it was a major headwind. Like, I was doing like 500 watt pulls on the breakaway on that headwind section, barely going 30 miles an hour. So it was intense for sure. So right here, I just kind of put in a little attack, just kind of seeing if someone would follow me. This is where I really need to invest in a rear view camera, because right now you're like, oh, Chaz, awesome attack. Who's following you? Honestly, I have no idea, and I don't recall at this point either. But I thought it best to kind of, you know, put in a little attack right there, just kind of see what happens. Everyone was starting to get antsy. Anytime someone jumped, people would kind of go with it. And the way that I'm rolling this, you know, definitely, I believe I did have some people on my wheel, but I believe the pack just kind of ended up just staying together, and no one really let a gap open up at all, which kind of sucks, but that is part of racing, right? So this is what happens is we're all still together. Legion pulls through. I'm just gonna shuffle in on his wheel really quick, use that draft, and just start to recover. And look at that, 2 flyers right there, huge flyers. I want to say that's Valet and Legion going right there. And eventually, here goes Mike Spikes. As a response, they realize they missed that move, and at that point, everyone else is kind of, again, extremely motivated. Everyone is motivated. So everyone is going to keep following this. I see that this is actually a decent little move, getting a little bit of daylight. So I'm going to push across this gap, really try to make the bridge and see if we can make this one work, hopefully. But again, it's the first race here in California for the season, and everyone is just extremely motivated at racing their bikes. This one kind of sucks. When this Legion guy kind of sat up, I was like, okay, I just got to keep my head down and keep going. And again, this is a solid little move up here, because if you think about it, Legion, Valet, and Mike Spikes are all represented, you know, 3 of the solid teams that were in the field aside from us. So I have to make sure that we get, you know, someone from our team up there. So I am making the deep dig now to come in. So if you think about it, I did a solo attack, and then I bridged up to this move. So right now I've burned 2 matches, or I've covered 2 different moves. I covered basically my own move, my own self-inflicted pain. And then now, right after my move didn't work, I immediately jump into this next move that is showing some promise. But again, it's not gonna work out. Everyone's gonna kind of just stick together here. Pack is pretty much coming right up on my tail as well. And here's someone throwing down a little bit of a surge up there. And then I feel like Tyler Williams is going to go right now. Yes, here he goes from Legion. Tyler Williams does a little seated acceleration, little Jedi mind trick, like, you will not follow me. I am not the rider you want. I was like, psych, Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, fool. Here I come. Jump on his wheel. Kind of easy to get across to that, not too hard. But again, now this is my 3rd move that I have covered in a row. Now if you think about it, I like to think that I'm Batman, but I can't cover everything. So I'm gonna need some of my boys to come to the front and help out. I think that is Sam Boardman, maybe from Legion, going off front there with an awesome counter. I think this is Miles from Mike's up there. I'm not really sure. I think this is Bradley Wiggs from Valera right there. He's gonna try to go with that. As soon as these guys start to throw down and chase after Legion, you know, that's where I go, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna go into this one. So this is now my fourth move that I am covering. Man, good thing I wasn't like completely wasted though. Like, so I've put in a lot of time and effort when it comes to training and just eating healthy and all kinds of different things, and it's really showing off. I mean, being able to cover these 4 moves from extremely strong teams, I'm very, very happy with where the fitness was. The legs felt amazing today, especially after being in the break for over an hour and then being able to do this kind of workload at the end of a 90-minute crit. I was super excited with. But I am gonna need someone from our team to eventually come up here and start covering some of these because, you know, like I said, I'm not Batman and I can't cover everything. So as much as I want to be Batman, I can't be. I don't even know why I chose Batman. Like, and there's so many other cool superheroes with actual superpowers. All that Batman has is an R&D department to like make whatever he wants. Anyways, back on track with this crit. That was tough. So it all comes back together. The break doesn't go right there, which is fine. At this point, I'm like, okay, you know, someone from my team needs to come up here. They need to go with the next one. And this is what kind of happens right now. This is a very weird move. Okay, so I see this happen and I'm like, everyone's here. They're just kind of attacking into the corner. Everyone will jump on the wheel, we'll be fine. So I didn't jump. I took the gamble and said, I'll just sit in. I need to recover just a little bit, try to get some of this back and get some of my leg back so I can now, you know, make a dig later on down the road. But if you see, Mike Spikes on the front kind of sits up right here. They're sitting up, and Legion is also towards the front. And if you look, the Legion dude over here on the right, you see him, he sits up and he's like, yo, Corey, you want us to let that go? And Corey just like, yeah, brah. And lets him go, and next thing you know, there is the winning break up the road. They just rolled away. They didn't attack. They just kind of like rolled away through the chicane section. And I missed it. It just happens. It happens. That's it. So we're gonna fast forward. Break is up the road now. They're established. They are, spoiler, they are barely going to hang on and stay away from us. The pack is only gonna come in maybe a handful of seconds behind them, like 4 or 5 seconds behind them. But here we are coming into 2 laps to go, all right? So let's talk through what's going on with 2 laps to go. At this point, I believe Mike Spikes has made, no, we're coming into 2 laps to go. So here we go. I find Kenny. This is Kenny right here. He is my teammate. I have Nick on my wheel, who is our sprinter. So the job right now is I'm supposed to get Nick up to the front and drop him either on Corey's wheel or on Jeff Linder's wheel from Mike Spikes, whoever is in the best position for the start of the sprint. So my job is to keep Nick out of trouble and safe. Kenny right now is doing a great job at helping me through the chicane and just kind of keeping me on the back end of this train. You know, we're not flying too much. He did let a little bit of a gap open up right there, but totally fine. He was too busy, I think, just making sure I was there, which I should have just talked a little bit more to him, just tell him I'm here. That was kind of my bad, but anyways, he gets us on the back here. We're in good position. I mean, lead out wise, it looks like we're in a bad spot, but it's just a really long train. So here we go. We are coming into 1 lap to go. And Mike Spikes actually had just taken over for this 2 laps to go, which I don't really understand why Mike Spikes jumped it with 2 laps. Maybe they thought it was 1 lap to go and they jumped it. Anyways, right here, we're coming into 1 lap to go, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get Nick up here at the front. So I tell Nick, hey, dude, stay on my wheel, let's go. I get him up here, and dude, we are here. And because this is my job, I have no problem sticking my nose out in the wind to make sure we stay up here. We are on the back of Legion's train. This is Jeff Linder right in front of me. Jeff, there's Justin, there's Corey. We are all right here. So I'm out in the wind because I'm keeping Nick on my wheel so he can stay up here at the front on the back end of Legion's train. and this is what I'm trying to do. Corey sees me right here and kind of moves over to kind of block me, to stop me from coming in on the train, which I'm like, bro, it's totally fine. I will come on the side of you through this. As we came through this corner, my sprinter Nick decided to come up next to me and kind of do his own thing and take over. So when he did that, it was like, okay, I guess you don't need me anymore. I'm done. So Nick is now on his own, and he is now moving up there. I believe he's kind of locked in on, I think he's on Sam Benedict's wheel from Mike's Bikes, but he's up there, and my job is now basically over. And what happens is, at this point, you know, I'm just kind of messing around. Race is done for me. I did my job. I got him up there. We're coming into the final sprint here. But basically what happens is they come out of that corner. They came out of that corner pretty darn hot, and Nick ends up taking 12th on the day. And Eric, who's new to our team, actually moved up and ended up taking 10th, I believe. So he actually was in front of Nick. Somehow he moved up in front of Nick there towards the end. And when they came out of this final corner, he actually led Nick out decently, and Nick ended up just not being able to come around him though, and just hanging on to 12th, and I think Mike Spikes was in there. But Tyler Williams from Team Legion wins the race, and Luke Lamperti from Trinity comes in second. Mike Spikes takes third, and then pack sprint for I believe 7th place or 6th place goes to Corey Williams, followed by Justin of Legion, followed by Jeff Linder of Mike Spikes, and then I believe it was Eric was in there, another Mike Spikes rider, and then Nick was up there. So we had two guys 10th and 12th on the day. Again, messed up on missing that break, but hey, it was good to be back racing. Super hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time.